Hey guys, Alex here, and like every time we're bringing some amazing story about the world and especially about the Philippines. And today we have the video of how millions of news channels are using Filipino English. Even if in some videos that we have on the channel they say they will never recognize the Filipino English. Well, there is something fishy over here and we're going to try to see that. Like the video, subscribe if you're new on the channel, welcome, and let's go and see one of the best English in the world, which is the Filipino English.
They said Filipino English would never be recognized on a global stage. But today it's quietly shaping how millions of Americans speak, watch, and even teach English across their screens every single day. You might not notice it at first, but the influence is everywhere, from national newsrooms to social media anchors and even AI voice assistants. The sound of clarity, confidence, and warmth that once belonged only to the Philippines is now becoming the new voice of global communication. But how did this happen? How did the accent that grew in the islands of Southeast Asia become a trusted tone for American news and media? Let's find out. It all begins with a story that stretches more than a century back. When the United States colonized the Philippines in the early 1900s, they didn't just bring military presence, they brought
Of
language.
course.
Schools across the country began teaching English, not just as a subject, but as a way of life. The goal was to create a population that could communicate directly with Americans. The result was astonishing. Within just a few generations, the Philippines became one of the most English-fluent countries in the world. But something special happened along the way. Filipinos didn't just copy American English, they made it their own. The Filipino style of speaking English carries a rhythm and clarity that make it stand out. It's polite yet confident, warm yet professional. There's something about the way Filipinos enunciate their words that feels sincere, easy to listen to, and remarkably clear. And in today's world where communication happens at lightning speed, clarity is power. That's why Filipino English began to attract global attention. The first big wave came from the call center boom of the early 2000s. When major American companies started outsourcing customer service to the Philippines, they quickly realized something incredible: American customers actually preferred Filipino agents. Their tone was calm, friendly, and easy to understand. It wasn't just about speaking English, it was about making people feel heard, respected, and valued. Those same traits are exactly what every news channel wants in their anchors: clarity, connection, and trust.
I'm going to stop for 1 second and say over here, okay, I'm agree with the Americans when they came, few generation, okay. But in order to have that calm and that kindness in your voice and that clarity, even if you're talking about an agent, a phone agent, whatever, or a person who speaks to you face to face, in order to have that, it has to come from within. So that's why the Filipino people that I so highly appreciate and love are so unique, because first of all they have the kindness inside of them. They're good people, and of course through language and through actions you can see that as well. But that's one of the biggest factor, I think, in my opinion at least.
As years passed, the Philippines became a global hub for voice-based industries. Radio hosts, podcasters, and online educators from America started collaborating with Filipino voice artists because they delivered something unique: a tone that felt global, neutral, and emotionally balanced. This was when Filipino English started slipping into American media, not through force, but through admiration. Turn on a random American news segment today and you might notice something interesting: the delivery, the pacing. The way certain words are pronounced, it feels familiar. Words like schedule research and data sound subtly influenced by the Filipino rhythm. Even American anchors who've never been to the Philippines are adopting this smooth, measured tone. Why? Because the media world rewards voices that can speak clearly to everyone, and Filipino English does exactly that, but the influence doesn't stop there. AI companies developing voice systems for global users often train their speech models on Filipino English datasets because of its neutrality. It bridges the gap between Western and Asian accents, making it ideal for global communication. The same voice tone used by millions of Filipinos has become the model for artificial voices that speak to billions. This means that even when you hear an American-sounding AI reading the news, it might secretly be shaped by Filipino pronunciation patterns. What's even more amazing is how Filipino English has become a form of global soft power without anyone realizing it. Think about this. The Philippines has given the world millions of English-fluent professionals, broadcasters, teachers, and writers. Yet it's the unique sound of their English that's leaving the deepest mark. The tone of kindness, professionalism, and warmth that comes naturally to Filipino speakers is now the gold standard for effective communication. Many American news producers have publicly admitted that when they hire international talent for on-air roles or voice work, they look for that balanced, neutral accent. And guess which accent checks all the boxes? Filipino
Filipino.
English. It doesn't sound too British or too Southern. It's smooth, modern, and carries a global vibe. That's why more and more voice coaches in the US are teaching a neutral accent that sounds strikingly similar to Filipino English without even realizing where it originated. There's also a new wave of Filipino journalists working in American newsrooms. Their success has proven that clarity beats accent bias. Audiences don't care where you're from as long as you deliver the news with honesty and emotion. Filipino anchors bring both. They've turned what was once called a foreign way of speaking into something respected and admired. And that's a quiet revolution happening right under our noses. But let's dig deeper. Why does Filipino English connect so well with people all over the world? It's because language isn't just about words, it's about energy. The Filipino way of speaking is filled with respect. It's not rushed or aggressive. It has a natural empathy that makes the listener feel at ease. When you hear it, you sense warmth, authenticity, and trust. And in an age when trust in media is fading, that's exactly what audiences crave. This is why so many American content creators from YouTube to TikTok are now collaborating with Filipino voice actors to narrate their documentaries and ads. They're discovering what call center executives knew years ago: the Filipino voice sells, not because it's fancy, but because it feels human. Viewers stay longer when the voice makes them feel understood. If you look closely, you'll see
Man,
that
it's
this trend
true.
mirrors a bigger cultural shift. For decades, American English was seen as the standard, but globalization has changed the rules. English is no longer owned by one nation. It's a shared tool, and the Filipino version has proven to be one of the most effective adaptations of it. It bridges East and West while sounding natural to both. That's something few countries have achieved. Even Hollywood has noticed. Some dialogue coaches now train
I have a video on the channel, which I'm going to leave it at the end of the video. Go and watch that because it's like, how come Filipinos speak so good English? And when I started this channel and started diving into the Philippines, I was wondering myself, how the hell is that possible? Well, in that video, I had a lot of enlightenment. So I'm going to leave it here at the end of the video. It's really important to watch. And the other thing that I wanted to say, it's the more you discover the Philippines, the more I would like to be a Filipino. Maybe I am. You guys in the comments told me, Alex, you're one of us. Yes, and thank you for that. But it's so beautiful, man, to see not only about the language, culture, kindness, resilience, struggle, and all that kind of stuff put together in one nation, and then the country is so beautiful. It's unique. It's one of a kind.
Actors to adopt softer, more international accents for global releases. The subtle patterns they use resemble Filipino English: calm pacing, light intonation, and friendly articulation. In other words, the world is beginning to sound a little bit Filipino, and nobody's complaining. Let's not forget education. Millions of American students now take online English lessons from Filipino teachers every year. These students often end up speaking with the same clarity they hear from their tutors. And when they grow up to work in media journalism or broadcasting, they carry those same speech habits forward. That's how influence spreads quietly from generation to generation until it becomes part of the mainstream. And there's something poetic about it too. For so long, Filipinos have been known for adapting to Western culture. Now the West is adapting to them, the way they speak.
Now is the Western culture adapted to the Philippines. Nice.
Crossed oceans and entered microphones, studios, and cameras all across America. What started as an educational mission during colonial times has turned into a cultural comeback led not by politics, but by pure communication skill. Every time a news anchor delivers a headline with a measured, clear voice, every time an AI assistant speaks in a tone that feels friendly and respectful, every time an American student practices pronunciation with a Filipino tutor, that influence grows stronger. It's subtle but unstoppable. So when you turn on your TV and watch a breaking news story from New York or Los Angeles, listen carefully. You might hear a rhythm that feels strangely familiar, that gentle balance of authority and warmth. That's Filipino English behind the scenes, shaping how the world communicates. The rise of Filipino English isn't just about accent, it's about identity. It shows how language evolves through empathy and connection. The Philippines didn't push their accent on the world. The world came looking for it because it works, it builds bridges instead of walls. And in a time when the world feels divided, something as simple as the way we speak can bring us closer together. The story of how millions of news channels across
True.
America are using Filipino English isn't just about media. It's about how one nation quietly gave the world a voice that feels universal. And maybe that's the beauty of it all. The Philippines didn't need to shout to be heard. Their voice traveled naturally through kindness, hard work, and communication. Now it's part of global media forever. So the next time you hear an American anchor speak clearly, warmly, and respectfully, remember this. There's a touch of the Philippines in that tone. A whisper of the islands in every word. Filipino English isn't just influencing news channels. It's redefining what good communication means in the 21st century. It's proof that the world listens to voices that speak with heart, not just perfect grammar, and that's why millions of newsrooms across America have embraced it, even without realizing it. So whether you're in Manila, New York, or anywhere in between, remember this: your voice matters. It can shape conversations across borders, change the way the world listens, and remind us all that language at its best is not about sounding perfect, it's about connecting perfectly. That's the power of Filipino English. The sound of respect, clarity, and confidence. The sound that's quietly changing the world. One broadcast at a time. If you enjoyed this documentary, don't forget to like this video, share your thoughts in the comments, and
Nice.
subscribe
The
to
original
channel for
video
more.
is down below, guys. Beautifully said, beautifully done, and it's true. I mean, I have some other documentaries on the channel, and like I was saying, I can feel that kindness that comes from within, and that's the most important thing. It calms you. And then when you see Filipinos, how they are facing their lives, it's a lesson for a lot of us. Anyways, I don't want to make the video too long. This video over here, go and watch it. It's really important. We're talking about English, and I was like, wow, okay. That's why I was saying. So like the video, subscribe, guys, if you enjoy it. A lot of other videos coming up on the channel, so make sure to be over here. And let me know, what do you want to see next on the channel down below in the comments. Again, thank you for watching. Like I always say, stay safe.